on this first day of the year. Welcome. The What It Takes Radio Company brings you right to the start of things by saying, yes, in 2026, do it right. We can help you. And one of the ways to do that is for you to take just a few minutes now to see and hear what might be the question that can help you have a much better 2026. Here we go. Greetings, friends. This is Stan, and it is the first day of 2026, January 1. And I would like to begin the year with just a very simple question that you ask yourself about today. And then it's a question which you should ask yourself and your colleagues and your customers and many of the people that you have to work with and deal with. And let me tell you the story behind the question, and then let me just tell you what it is. And it's very appropriate now that we have kind of brought to an end the holiday season, and the new year has begun. And for many people, it's back to work. The decorations will come down and we'll be back to work as normal, if there ever can be such a thing anymore. But here we go. A number of years ago, I came across the story about two famous philosopher thinkers who actually made an impression upon the American literary and political and social scene. Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson. And these two very significant thinkers lived in a village in the state colony of Massachusetts, here in the U.S., at a place that was sometimes referred to as Walden Pond. Kind of a very, bucolic, wonderful, growing up, way to be, nice place to live. And they were writers and thinkers and people who made a difference both in their community and in the people they worked with. And it is reported, at least this is the story I've heard, and it's such a great story, I hope it's true, because it's very important, that when they would meet, in town, in a conversation, maybe in a scheduled meeting, or maybe just as they were walking around that wonderful Walden Pond, that they would say to each other, or ask one another, since we last met, what is clear to you now? Since we last met, what is clear to you now? Now, those people who teach and try and live by effective living, and I think particularly of a gentleman named Dennis Prager, who simply said, I don't seek agreement with people, but I always seek clarity in my conversation. As one of my mentors said, these are the questions you should think about when someone makes a statement. What do you mean by that? Yeah, what do you mean by that? How do you know that? Good question. How do you know that? What difference does it make? Have you got those three great questions? They'll be very helpful in your work and in your relationships. And they're not meant to attack or antagonize. They're to seek clarity. And then you can go from there. Maybe into conviction, acceptance, maybe into conflict. But at least you have some clarity. Well, many of you have gone through the exercises of the holiday season and perhaps taken some time to actually think about what you would like to have different in 2026 now that it has arrived. You've probably done some evaluating about how 25 went, Many of us said we want to thrive in 25, and some said, I'll be just glad if I can survive in 25. Well, everybody has some positive and negative thoughts about the past year. But now, in terms of moving forward and living forward, simple question. As you've gone through the day, and like I've done much of the day, and through a number of my exercises, beginning with the Jewish New Year back in the fall, because that's where I began to think about my year so I can get a head start on those of you who fully embrace the January 1. But I go along with the rest of the culture, which says is I have to be ready to make my new beginnings known and at least shown, even though I may have formulated them before. By January 1, I better have them pretty well in place in space. So here's the question for you right now in this afternoon flowing into the evening of the new year, January 1. What is clear to you now about your life, your relationships, your business, your finances, your situation? Whether you are doing well or whether you are not doing well, maybe you're in a mess, maybe you are involved in all kinds of situations, some that you like and some that you don't. And now, in terms of how you are going to live, what is clear to you now? There we go. Just a few minutes to help you think a little more about what you really want. As I often say, my coaching is, first of all, to help you decide, who are you? And are you living the life you want? Or are you just living the life you got? What do you want? What do you want to be different? What do you want to have? What do you want to do? What do you want to become? Who do you want to serve? In 6 months. In 6 months. Around June. How do you want your life to be different? There you go. I'm Stan, the radio man for the Do It Right program, the Do It Right radio network. Please reach out to me. You see it as it comes up, stan@witradio.net, stan@witradio.net. All the best and blessings, because no matter what the year, I say always close with a benediction. Yeah, always close with good words. Benediction. Good speaking to one another. Take care. May it go well for you. All the best. Bye for now.